My God, I hate drugs.
Former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno is ready to file a motion to reverse her colleague's decision to oust her.
Habang tumitindig tayo para sa matuwid, hindi tayo kailanman magiging talunan.
And despite Sereno's repeated claims, Malacanang insists it respects and recognizes the separation of powers of the three branches of government.
Kaya ako nakikialam eh.
Former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno joins us live. And later, a closer look at the impeachment complaint versus the former Chief Justice.
We in Congress, while we have that power to impeach, we are not removing that power as well to the Supreme Court to act on and take jurisdiction on co-warrant.
House Justice Committee Chairman Ray Umali and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo tells us more in the program. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. Former Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno is set to appeal her ouster. On May 11th, the Supreme Court voted 8-6 to grant the co-warranto petition filed by Solicitor General Jose Calida against Sereno. The High Court justices found Sereno's appointment in 2012 as Chief Justice invalid due to her supposed failure to submit the required statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth. All this happened amid an ongoing impeachment case against her at the House of Representatives. Let's go straight to the source of the story. Former Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Ma'am, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, Pinky, and good morning to all your viewers.
Sanay na ho ba kayong tawaging former Chief Justice?
Well, it doesn't matter too much to me, no? The important thing is I fight for the principles I believe in. There is still a motion for reconsideration. The story is not yet finished, Pinky, and it's a larger story than we originally thought.
What did you originally think and why is it much larger now?
I thought that I would really just have to prepare for the Senate impeachment trial. So when there were challenges early on for me to just resign because they said you will never be able to endure the torture of an impeachment trial, I said, well, I want to go through the constitutional process because precisely it's meant to preserve the democracy. So in fact, according to Raul Berger, to preserve the institutions of democracy and all constitutional officers, the best way of protecting that is the impeachment process. So I was quiet. For so long, I was quiet. There was a one-sided hearing. So all the preparations were largely on the legal and factual side. Very rarely did I make an appearance, and it turns out that things had to be accelerated, and then so many people picked up the cause of judicial independence. So this resonates, Pinky. This means that obviously what I thought was going to be a limited battle was going to be really a large one, a fight for the people's cause, for a preservation of our democratic rights and the checks and balances that we need.
The last time, CJ, I interviewed you, you didn't really want to talk about the co-warranto, saying that it could be a sub judice, but you were saying that we all knew that you were saying that you were preparing yourself for the impeachment trial, but you knew that there was a possibility that the impeachment will not happen. Hence, if the justices voted for the granting the co-warranto petition filed by Sol Gen Jose Calida. All right, it's been 10 days since the 8 justices decided to oust you. How have you been since? Has there been any change?
The point of view that I shared with you remains valid because you have seen 14 senators give their sense that they should be the ones to decide on whether the Chief Justice should be removed from office or not, and not the Supreme Court. That's a major development, Pinky, and I think everyone should pay attention to the fact that the exclusive body vested by the Constitution with the power to remove impeachable officers is exerting its right. It's not something that can just be easily set aside.
14 of them, I want to talk about that a little later on because we also need to talk about the House of Representatives. But just personally, how's the challenge been since 10 days ago, since that decision, ma'am?
The challenge now is basically to help people understand why it is important to preserve the checks and balances and why quo warranto should not be used to erode our constitutional gains. Ang dami nang nakuha natin bilang isang bansa. Pinky, we have been already hailed as a champion of democracy. Naging model na tayo sa Asia. So many people launch their own democracy movements patterned after ours. So, ang problema na lang, kailangan nating cascade down sa taong bayan. So, I have been listening very carefully and people have been saying that your issue, your cause resonates with us. So, obviously, it's not about me anymore. Parang lumiliit na nga yung aking role eh. Parang taong bayan ang nagte-take over ng cause. So, I'm happy to share this fight with so many others. It's not a personal one. It's obviously something that is about principles and the basic values of us as a people. Ano ba talaga ang ating pinahahalagahan? Yung respeto sa bawat isa, na hindi mag-concentrate ang power sa iisang tao lamang o sa iisang sangay. At kaya pa bang takbuhan, tumakbo sa mga judges kung sila ay natatakot dahil sa quo warranto? Kasi ang quo warranto ngayon, hindi na pwede yung 1-year prescription period.
Rule 66.
Correct. Wala nang Rule 66 effectively na mapagsasabi. Yan ang sinabi nga nagpakamatay na daw ang hudikatura. So, sabi yan ni Justice Kagiwa, no? At nanganak ng legal abomination ang Supreme Court. So, kung gayon pala, ang kailangan natin pag-isipan ano bang ibig sabihin nito sa maliliit na tao? Ang presyo ng bigas, ang presyo ng petrolyo, ang taas ng bilihin, ang mga kahirapan sa buhay. Paano na yung mga negosyong maliliit na natatanggal na lang bigla? Tatakbo sila sa huwes, pero yung huwes nanganganib. Pagkalaban ng mga maliliit mabibigating tao, isang connection lang sa Solicitor General at sa Presidente o sa political allies man lang nila. Nasaan na ngayon ang karapatan ng tao?
I want to jump to that. I wanted to ask you, I think it was Senator Franklin Drilon who said that the Solicitor General is the most powerful person in the bureaucracy. If I'm not mistaken, that came from him. Do you agree?
Yeah. He has been turned into the most powerful person now, next to the President. Even more powerful than the Senate combined. All 24 senators cannot do what Soljan Kalida can do now.
Does this mean, CJ, that every trial court judge, any member of the judiciary, the CA, the Supreme Court, can be exposed to a quo warranto petition?
Yes, that's the clear message to everyone. You weaponize a rule that is not often used in the Supreme Court and in the judiciary, and then you destroy everything in the Constitution that prevents such an abuse of power. One obscure rule, hindi man masyadong obscure, pero obscure enough to say that there are not many, very, very few quo warranto cases. All of them saying that basically it's just exactly, the rule has always been uniform. Not more than 1 year.
Okay, I wanna talk about that just for those who may not be very aware of that. That's Rule 66 in the quo warranto. It says that basically there's a, please correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am, a 1-year prescriptive period by which a quo warranto can be filed. There were two experts, I would say, I spoke to. One is the former Chief Justice Hilario Davide, and the other one is Justice Nachura, both having opposing views. One said it's a 1-year prescriptive period, which means 2012, the time you were appointed. Dapat 1 year from then, which is 2013. But Justice Nachura was saying that it's 1 year from the time of discovery.
Medyo mahirap paniwalaan yung ganong paninindigan kasi ibig sabihin mo, palitan mo yung Solicitor General tomorrow, bago ang Solicitor General, kasi hindi natin alam kung nasaan, may mga issues siya ngayon, no? Malay mo, tomorrow hindi na siya ang Solicitor General, bago na. E di yung 1-year period na yan, magra-run for all the 1 million public officials, officers in the country, kasi hindi lang yan applicable sa impeachable officials, sa lahat. So for the 1 million, magbibilang ulit sila. Ano ang malalaman niya within 1 year? Yun, pwede siyang mag-file. Kahit near retirement na yung
So
tao.
yung time element is forever? Is that what you're saying?
It's forever. It's basically gone.
So malabo ho talaga sa inyo yung upon discovery, as Justice
Wala
Nachino
talagang
was saying.
reason. Wala talagang reason.
Ma'am, however, there is, when you talk about, well, obviously members of the administration, they would say that yung operative word kasi in the Constitution is may be impeached. In other words, there are other options to go to, such as a co-warrant, o hindi naman shall be. Meron daw difference ang shall be at may be.
Magandang discussion yan sa dissent, no? Kasi yung maybe, when taken into the context, only talks about the fact that discipline does not only talk about impeachment. Pwedeng mga disciplinary measures less than removal. So maraming pwedeng gawing pagdidisiplina ng isang impeachable official. Pero hindi mo ibig sabihin na linagay mo lang ang maybe, bubuksan mo na lahat at ita-transfer mo ang power from the Senate to the judiciary at the initiative of the Solicitor General. That was never the intention. Clear yun sa deliberations ng Constitutional Commission.
You have 15 days to file your motion for reconsideration. I know, ma'am, that it's difficult to discuss this being sub judice, but when will you file the MR?
Well, it will be on or before May 30.
Are there new arguments?
I'm sure my lawyers would want to be the first to show the new arguments. So let them finish it first, and then we can announce the new arguments.
How much of a participation do you have, being the accused and the Chief Justice herself?
Just enough so that I do not unduly intrude into the professional work of the lawyers. I have to show them utmost respect. But I also want to make sure that my personal convictions are fully reflected. If they need to be quite strongly articulated, but respectfully, they will be. They will find their way in some of the words there.
I want to get this clear, ma'am. Some are saying that if there is a change of heart and it becomes 7-7, that still this does not keep you a CJ. It doesn't put you back in position. What some are saying, that's why gusto ko pong linawin, do you need 2 votes to overturn the decision, or do you need just 1 vote to overturn the decision?
I will leave it to the rest of my colleagues to rule on that or to decide that. I will not preempt their action in the matter.
So is that a question mark?
Well, that means that basically I know that there may be a debate on that, so I will not join that debate.
All right. 8 justices said you were not qualified. Status co-warranto is justified because you were not qualified to begin with. Okay, that's going into the merits of the the motion for reconsideration that you will file. However, you asked 6 of them to inhibit. And when you spoke right after the decision, you said it was a victory because out of the 8, only 2 actually said that you should be ousted.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, that's a moral victory because obviously basic rules of fairness, just even plain common sense, requires that your accuser cannot be your judge. And 5 of them testified against me. So clearly under the rules on compulsory inhibition, they should not have participated. And 1 thereafter said that I am unfit because I profess too much belief in God. So he has already expressed a bias, and so I then said that he should also inhibit. If those who had shown bias and prejudgment on my fitness to sit, and some had even shown personal hurt, expressed personal hurt at my assumption of office, then they should really inhibit. If they had inhibited, it would have been a clear and resounding victory. It would have only been 2 who would have said that I should step down.
So if you were to hope that some of them would change their minds, it would only be the 2 out of the 8.
I'm hoping all 8 will change their minds for the sake of the country. I'm hoping for all 8.
And how small or how big is that possibility, ma'am?
Okay, realistically, that hope that all 8 will reconsider is not a big one, obviously. But there is always a glimmer of hope in everything. So I maintain that the only way, this is not a pro forma filing of a motion for reconsideration. So the conviction that there can still be a change of mind accompanies that filing.
Mm-hmm. Before we go on a break, your critics are saying that you really had a hand in your ouster because you should just look into the mirror And if you do, you'll find out it was you who caused yourself to be ousted for not filing your SALN. I think it was spokesperson Harry Roque who said that, ma'am. Tumingin ka lang daw sa salamin at makikita mo sinong nasa likod ng pagpapatalsik sa'yo sa pwesto.
I really didn't particularly hear that interview or statement from the presidential spokesperson. But if he did that, then every official should also be looking at themselves in the mirror if they even satisfy the basic requirements of integrity. My case is all about missing documents. There's not really at that the charge that I had pilfered a single centavo from government coffers or that I did not do my job. So I think that that mirror should be held up to others. I am the reason why I am of the firm belief that I should go through the Senate trial is because I want a large mirror, a national mirror, to be held up against my own behavior. Everybody will be able to pitch in and say, why did Sereno commit this and that? And I will be able to say, I did this because this is my belief. I denied this request because it would have cost money that should not have been spent. So those would have been the real story. Ang problema, I never had the chance. I never had the chance to give my story to the people. One-sided from the beginning up to now. One-sided. Wala akong naging forum para ikwento in a very dignified manner the charges, the baseless charges that have been hurled against me.
Ma'am, if you had filed your SALNs, for the sake of argument, do you think aabot ho dito ang inyong problema or your challenge or your situation?
Palagay ko maghahanap pa rin.
We'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Still to come, we'll discuss former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno's plans. She'll still be with us after the break.
Prepare for takeoff with Petron, powered by the best.
Yan. So,
Yes, andyan na ako.
ano ang reason, Pinky, na meron pa rin kayo live Facebook after?
Ma'am, sorry. Ano yan, Tristan? We're going to ask about Soljan Kalida next, and then asking the president to resign. PRRD. Impeach. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Ma'am, we were talking about the Soljan. Now you have Jocelyn Acosta filing an administrative and graft complaint against Kalida before the Ombudsman, saying that we're talking about integrity, reveal your SAL, and challenging the Soljan. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the reason why the SAL of Kalida is being asked to be shown is because the charge is basically hidden wealth or entering into conflict of interest with government on contracts that he should not even have, that should not even have seen the light of day in a government office. So this is so far from my situation. My situation is missing documents. So that's a good challenge, actually. And especially when, in addition to my last statement, I expressed to you my belief that even if there had been complete documentation of all my filings, they would still have dug to the deepest level to find anything at all, to find a way to oust me.
You were seen in fighting form recently asking the president to resign. We have a clip of that. If it's ready, let's listen to it, please.
Sabihin mo sa taong bayan ang totoo. At anong sinabi niya? Ikaw ay aking kaaway.
At uutusan ko ang Kongresong tanggalin ka kagad, sisiguraduhin kung tutulungan ko pa si Ginoong Kalida. Ano po ang ibig sabihin noon? Yung kahapong sinasabi niyang hindi totoo at magre-resign daw siya, pang ilang beses na po nating narinig na magre-resign siya. Galing sa kanyang bibig ang pag-amin na siya ang pasimula at magpupursige sa pagtanggal sa akin. Pues, Ginoong Pangulo, mag-resign ka na.
Are you reiterating that call for the President to resign, ma'am?
Oo. Can I just go back doon sa isang question mo na nag-assume ka na kung may problema ko. Pinky, wala ang problema sa SALN. So, let me just clarify that I filed what I was required to file. Now, doon sa tinatanong na yung sa presidente na i-reiterate ko, ganito lang naman kasimple yon. Fairness na ang pinag-uusapan ng mga tao ngayon. Pantay ba ang mga tao sa pagtingin ng mga bagay? So it was really also fair for me to remind the President that April 9, he told Congress to proceed immediately to ensure I am ousted, and the following day or the same day, Speaker Alvarez said, "Yes, sir." And the President even said, "Tutulungan ko pa si Kalida at sisiguraduhin ko para siya ay manalo." So it was fair for me to remind him because the night before I made that statement, sabi niya, wala talaga akong kinalaman. Kung may pruweba kayo na may kinalaman ako, magre-resign ako. Fair lang na ipaalala ko sa kanya ang sarili niyang mga salita. Ngayon, parang hindi naman yata siya nagre-respond dun sa paalala, kundi ang mga sinasabi ng spokesperson iba. Parang nililihis, ano? So, hayaan na natin siya dyan sa ganyang bagay. Kaya ang gusto ko na lang ngayon, lahat na itong tayo, pag-usapan natin ang namimiligro nating demokrasya. Dahil dito sa pagyayanig sa hudikatura.
But you're still calling for him to resign. Is that so?
I'm calling for him to fulfill his promise.
To resign?
Yes.
Ang sinabi po ng Pangulo, kung meron pong pruweba, magre-resign siya. What is the proof you're talking about? Is it that the statement he made for Congress to go ahead with impeachment and that he declare you as, I now declare you as my enemy? Yun ho ba?
Oo, yung April 9 statement niya na sinabi niya, uutusan niya ang buong Kongreso. Pero yung uutusan niya, sa akin nakakagimbal For a president to say, uutusan ko ang buong Kongreso. Nakalimutan na niya na hiwalay siya sa Kongreso. And then sabihan niya, tutulungan pa niya si Kalida para siguraduhin manalo. Anong klaseng pagre-respeto ito? Di parang sinabi niya na siya na rin talaga ang promotor nitong co-warranto. So tapos sinabi niya siya ay magre-resign. Ang sinasabi ko lang, ito po ang sinabi niyo
Co-warranto, you talked about it again, ma'am. Yung constitutional consequences ho nito, ano ba? Para sa inyo?
Ang constitutional consequences nito ay ganito, no? Ang Senado parang ginawang, pasensya na yung salita po, no? Parang ginawang inutil po sila. Na hindi na ho sila ang magdedesisyon ng impeachment kasi mahaba po ang impeachment, no? Ang dali lang pala mag-file ng co-warranto. Ngayon, ang co-warranto under Rule 66 pwede sa Regional Trial Court. So, ang Regional Trial Court pwede actually magpatanggal ng isang impeachable official. Commission on Elections, COA, people, lahat kaya silang kahit silang patalsikin ng SOLGEN at ng RDC lang.
Ma'am, yung resolution ng 14 senators, ano hong value nito para sa inyo?
Malakas ho ito na pagpapaalala in a very strong way na Supreme Court, please, sa amin po iyan. Huwag naman ho kayong kadalos-dalos, maaari naman pong i-rebisita at i-review nyo ulit yung decision nyo. Maaari hong paalalahanan namin kayo na ang konstitusyon sa amin lang po ibinigay ang ganyang kapangyarihan.
So it's just a reminder. Over and above that, meron pa hubang effect ito?
May malaking moral authority yan. May moral authority napakalakas yan. So, kailangan pakinggan yan.
All right. Meron hong plans to, in the House of Representatives naman, ma'am, to impeach 8 of the justices who granted the co-warranto.
Hindi ko na yan pang hihimasukan kasi hindi naman ako unang-una, parang hindi ko na dapat isipin yung mga bagay na yan, no? So, ang co-warranto lang naman na petition, yun ang aking trabaho ngayon. So, tinututukan ko yan. Kung bakit nila gagawin yan at anong ma-achieve yan, hindi ko na kayang bigyan ng opinion pa.
E paano kung yung ibang justices of the Supreme Court ay filean din ng co-warranto because of supposed none, lack, or incomplete? For example, SAL-ends, ma'am.
Sinabihan na nga sila ni Justice Leonen lahat na sila actually vulnerable. Yung mga nagdi-dissent, yung mga hindi kaalyado, lahat ng judges, vulnerable na. Pag sinabi mong vulnerable, ibig sabihin, hindi sila makakapag-desisyon nang hindi iniisip yung panganib na nakaabang sa kanilang karera. Magdidesisyon sila ng napakalakas, anong mangyayari? I-impeach rin ba sila? I'm sorry, iko-co-warranto rin pala sila? Oo,
So is that a threat against possible decisions that the justices will make?
Yes, definitely. That's the content of the dissents. Yun ang very strong point ng mga dissents. Paano na kami magiging fully independent ngayon? So kami kailangan mag-iisip lagi. You have rendered the judiciary, every judge, vulnerable.
And how is that in terms of the balance of power or the separation of power among three branches of government?
The judiciary does not have the power of the purse. Hindi siya maka-allocate ng pera. Naghihintay siya ng budget from Congress. Hindi siya pwedeng lumaban ng husto even from that budget. Kasi pag pupunta siya sa Kongreso, sasabihin niya, tandaan nyo ha, hindi naman kayo fully independent. And then the legislature, the judiciary also does not have the power of the sword. So when the executive says, we will not follow you, hindi na siya makaka-insist very strongly. Ngayon nga lang, hirap na actually. We will not follow you. So sabihin ng PNP, AFP, or any other law enforcement agency, we will not follow you. Ang hirap nun masyado.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, how would you describe the Supreme Court now?
Well, the description I have made of the Supreme Court is in terms of showing the deleterious effects, the bad effects of the decision on our constitutional structure, on the checks and balances, and on the rights of our citizens. Yun ang description ko na ginawa dun sa decision niya na 8 majority. So beyond that, hindi na muna ako magsasalita, Pinky.
Ma'am, political plans, kayo ho ba talaga itatakbong senador?
Yung mga pinag-iisipan ng mga ibang tao, no, hindi ko pa pinag-iisipan. The reason why it must be postponed, no? It must be postponed, thinking about it carefully, is we have a fight still in our hands. May 30 is fast approaching. Right now, I'm just trying to clear my mind so that we will have a chance of winning our reconsideration. Beyond that, I have already committed, Pinky, that a movement must come out of all of this, because we cannot allow such a sad part or a sad segment in our history to not have a redemptive value. Kailangan makahanap tayo ng redemption dito. Ano ang good dito?
So ano yung movement,
The
ma'am?
good is supposed to allow people to have a voice in a movement that will talk about justice and accountability. Hustisya. Hustisya para sa bayan at pagtutuos ng kailangang accountability for injustices.
Alright.
Yun ang movement na palagay ko nabubuo na. So that's the second step, no?
And then, tsaka na po yung kung sakaling pasukin yung politika.
Saka na po yun, Pinky, kasi mas masalimuot po ang politika. Hindi po natin makikita talaga ang kalahatang kalahatang landasin na kailangan nating hindi pa ngayon, hindi pa ngayon.
All right, former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, ma'am, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much.
Pinky, thank you.
We'll be taking a short break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Malacanang firmly denies that President Rodrigo Duterte was behind any move to oust former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno from her post. The palace insists Sereno violated the Constitution and she can only, quote, blame herself for what happened. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives says it will put on hold any decision on the impeachment case versus the former Chief Justice. Lawmakers add they will wait for the Supreme Court's decision on Sereno's motion for reconsideration on her quo warranto case. Let's go straight to the sources of the story. House Justice Committee Chairman Ray Umali and Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panela. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the show. Did you catch parts of the interview with the former Chief Justice?
I caught the last 2 minutes.
Would you like to react to just portions of it dun sa narinig mo, Attorney Sal?
Ang narinig ko lang yung pinag-iisipan niya na tatak. Hindi niya pa na pag-iisipan.
Hindi pa.
Palagay ko, ako na magsabi sa tumakbo ka na lang. Kasi, she wants to vindicate her honor. I think that's the only way for her to vindicate it. Para sabihin niya, ako kung nalar siya, ako pinaniwalaan ng tao. Okay?
So, you would rather tumakbo siya?
That's not for me to decide.
Yeah.
That's for her.
Yeah.
Kung ako ang abogado niya, siguro sabihin ko, takbo ka na lang.
Kukunin kaya. Well, yeah, but she will have to win. Di ba?
She'll have to win. Pero considering na naging controversial na siya, may name recall na siya.
So, are you saying malaking chance na if she runs, she can win?
Ay, hindi natin alam yun. Sinasabi ko lang na may name recall siya.
That's a different story.
Kong Ray, sige.
Ako, I know for a fact she's being considered by the Liberal Party. In fact, Congressman Egay Arice once blurted out that she's being considered.
Is that a problem?
I don't think so. Anyone is entitled to run for a public office.
All right, so madami po kami na pag-usapan, but let's first go to the SC decision. Of course, Attorney Sal Congre, the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, calls it a victory of sorts. Kasi doon sa 8 daw na granted the quo warranto, 6 she asked to inhibit. So in essence, 2 lang talaga to her granted the quo warranto. Here's the question, sir, gentlemen. If you had a case, kayong 2, and meron pong sa palagay ninyo ay dapat mag-inhibit dahil nagsalita na laban, for example, sa inyo, would it be fair that they still decide on your case? Attorney Sal.
Hindi. Alam mo kasi yung inhibition will depend on the discretion of the judge or justice. Hindi kung... Kasi sinasabi niya, nagsalita against me.
Sa House?
Unang-una, iba naman yung sinasabi ng mga justices doon sa hindi naman tungkol sa kanyang pagkatanggal kung hindi yung mga demeanor niya. Now, pangalawa, I think she has forgotten that 9 justices voted, including Justice Carpio, the acting Chief Justice, that she has culpably violated the Constitution. Mabigat yun kung siya mang nagsasabi.
But yung kay Justice Carpio, please correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Sal, is that through an impeachment.
Even that, the fact is, biro mo, culpably violation ng Constitution, mabigat yun. Kahit saan kayo dalhin, talagang may problema ka.
And I feel, so relieved of that statement coming from the Supreme Court, from 9 justices themselves, na sinasabi nila na there is merit, may substance yung articles of impeachment namin. If you have read the entire decision, you will see that the 24 acts that we included in the 6 articles of impeachment were all there. So that only goes to show that there is merit, there is substance in the article. So this will now debunk whatever they have said na yung mga lawyers niya na walang sustansya yung aming articles of impeachment.
But don't you feel, Congressman Umali, that indeed if there's merit and substance, that it's for the senator judges to decide indeed if it has merit and substance?
Yes, but you cannot discount the possibility because this is a constitutional remedy of the executive. This is part of the checks and balances, and the executive is also given that check and balance against that power of checks and balance against other co-equal branches of government. So they exercised it. It is within the Constitution, Article 8, that the Supreme Court is mandated to act and decide on quo warranto cases. So why deprive them of that?
An argument you raised, Attorney Panelo and Cong Reyes, that, well, you know, there is that Rule 66 of the quo warranto on the one-year prescriptive period, which they're both sides really saying, isang taon lang talaga yan from the time of appointment. Yung isa naman sinasabi from the time of discovery. Is it really clear?
Hindi rin totoo yun eh. You know, under the new civil code, you cannot use prescription against the state.
Yes.
Eh, ang nag-initiate dito yung Estado eh. And even assuming na pwede yung 1 year, papasok pa rin yung
Upon discovery.
Upon discovery.
Ang hindi ang nakakalimutan kasi ng ibang mga colleagues natin sa profesyon. The Constitution is very clear. Sinasabi nila, exclusive. Hindi exclusive eh. Nakalagay nga doon, may. Diba?
Be removed.
May be removed. In other words, hindi exclusive. Bakit kanyo? Kasi yung provision na yun applies only to qualified justices. Pero yung quo warranto refers to unqualified persons occupying a public office.
Well, that's the decision of the majority. Kaya naging remedy ang quo warranto because she was not qualified to begin with.
Hindi lang naging
ba?
hindi naging pwede kundi it has
valid.
always been there.
Yeah.
Talagang yun ang dapat mong remedyo.
All right, but here...
If I may add to that, no, Pinky, you know, hearing it from former Chief Justice Hilario Davide really makes me doubt, you know, things which are in the mind of these people. Like, for example, in fact, in the impeachment case of no less than Chief Justice Davide, Supreme Court intervened in not allowing the impeachment to proceed. And in the case of President Erap, he was removed by reason of a decision of the Supreme Court. These two people can only be removed by impeachment. And then, so where does this lead us? Now they're saying that they cannot remove other than by impeachment when in two instances involving no less than Chief Justice Davide, it was the Supreme Court that intervened in this case.
Parang lumabas kasi kay President Erap noon, Attorney Sal.
Quo warranto finando.
Tsaka ano, parang qualified, was it qualified resignation? Is that the phrase?
Deemed to have resigned.
Deemed to have resigned, something like
Parang,
that. Yeah.
what do you call that? Anyway, you know, these are situations when Supreme Court got into the play.
In addition, let me give an example kung gagawin mong exclusive yung provision on impeachment. Under the Constitution, one of the requirements is age. 40 anyos kailangan. Paano kung yung aplikante, sinabi niya 40 siya, unintentionally, hindi niya alam, hindi pala siya 40. Pagkatapos lumampas na yung sinasabi mo 1 year. Are we saying now that you cannot challenge this particular justice who occupied the office unlawfully dahil he did not comply with the age requirement? Kaya nga po pwede yung quo warranto.
Okay. All right. Senators, though, I wanted to get both your reaction on the resolution of the 14 senators. Well, they will discuss that again. I believe they signed it and will discuss it later today. Attorney Sal, what are your thoughts on that? It's really a statement from 14 senators saying, basically, I mean, just to sum it up, is that they have the power to impeach. It's
That
them.
is what you call democracy. Everyone is entitled to speak his or thoughts, ideas. Yun ang kanilang pananaw eh. I can understand where it is coming from. Eh, gusto nila siyempre impeachment. Eh, sila mga senador eh. They want trial. Natural lang yun.
Congressman Umali.
I think that is self-serving. They do not even have jurisdiction over the case because it's still with the House of Representatives. So I think they're taking a wrong position by saying that, by even passing a resolution, which doesn't mean anything because the
Wala ho
resolution...
bang ibig sabihin yan? That's what is the probative value of this resolution?
It can only express the sentiment of the senators, but that is about it. Until and unless the articles of impeachment is filed before the Senate
Transmitted.
and transmitted, they will never acquire jurisdiction.
In fact, there were some senators saying it's premature. premature.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is precisely why, as correctly pointed by Congressman Romali, wala pang impeachment. Ano bang...
But isn't, I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand that, your argument here. I know some senators were saying it's premature, but isn't that the reason they filed the resolution? Because they're telling the Supreme Court that it's Congress who has the power to impeach the Chief Justice and not through the co-warranto. Hindi ho ba yun yung sense?
Yeah. That's their opinion.
So why is it premature? Why does it become premature?
Premature nga kasi sinasabi lang, dapat kami.
Dapat kami,
wala pa nga kayong impeachment, bakit ba sinasabi?
Kaya nga, kasi tinanggal sa kanila yung kapangyarihan.
Hindi
tinanggal sa kanila yung
Ang
kapangyarihan
feeling
by
nila
the co-warranto.
tinanggal, pero hindi naman dahil may remedyo nga.
May remedyo.
I see. All right, we'll be taking a short break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Still to come. Former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno calls on President Rodrigo Duterte to resign. House Justice Committee Chairman Ray Umali and Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo will still be with us after the break.
As the summer heat continues to rise, beware about heat stroke and dehydration that target not just adults but children as well.
Kasama kami lang
Kailan?
the night before. Party ka nasa Cebu siya. 5 oras siya nasa party.
Yes, Jade. Sorry.
Nagsayaw pa. Kumanta pa.
You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Still with us, House Justice Committee Chairman Ray Umali and Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo. So the impeachment at the House, Congressman, I think it was Majority Floor Leader Rudy Fariñas who already said that you're not going to tackle this at all until a final decision is rendered by the Supreme Court. Is that confirmed, sir?
That is correct. We need to put a closure on this also, but closing this in terms of timelines means that we still have 70 session days, or probably -3, 67 session days, and that will go beyond December, I think. So we have all the time in the world to wait for whatever decision of the Supreme Court, the finality of this decision, because we do not want to create a constitutional crisis in that there is a pending case and we follow the rule of law, and then we will file it in the Senate, and then it will be now the Senate as an impeachment court and the Supreme Court that will bang heads. So we don't want that to happen.
So talagang no talk of the impeachment until there's a final resolution from the Supreme Court.
That is correct.
What happens if the Supreme Court, sir, it stays, the decision stays, walang movement, it's still going to be 8-6. Are you still going to tackle the articles of impeachment or move?
Yes, just for closure, just probably to vote on it and say that the case has been deemed moot or academic by the final decision of the Supreme Court.
Attorney Panelo, I asked Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno a while ago about a vote in the event that there is a change of heart. How many votes do you, in your opinion, does she need to overturn the decision? Does she just need one vote, or does she need
Kasi kung
2
one vote,
votes?
di tabla.
7-7.
Di status quo.
Status quo. Yung,
Ante.
Ante.
so, ibig sabihin, tanggal.
Hanggang.
So, in your opinion, she needs 2 votes to overturn
Pero
the
alam mo,
decision.
narinig ko palagi sa kanya na parang she was deprived of due process.
Yes. It was very one-sided, she said.
Hindi rin eh. Kasi nung mag-file ng co-warrant to, nag-file din siya ng pleading. Karoon ng submission ng arguments niya. For and against pareho sila. Tapos nag-deliberate, nag-oral arguments pa. Tapos nag-desisyon. So the rules on due process, na-observe.
I guess yung sinasabi din niya, no, Congressman Ray, all this time she was not given her day in court because hindi natuloy sa Senado, which was to her, I guess, the venue where she would speak or present documents.
Yeah, that's something that really bothers me, because nung nandoon kami sa House of Representatives sa impeachment hearings, ayaw niyang, sumagot siya. So she was given her day in court. But it was on her own decision, on her own volition, that she did not want to attend. Although she sends somebody there to monitor and then go on
they have a little bit of a press con,
interview, press con or whatever. So, siya yung may ayaw, no? And then now she faults the system, she faults the process for all of these things. I guess this is her persona. That's why she always does that.
And she's asking the president to resign. We played that sought a while ago, yung sinabi po ni CJ Sereno dahil nga sinasabi niya na the president had often said that if you prove na may kinalaman ako dito, magre-resign ako. I guess we can again listen to that particular statement made by the former Chief Justice. Alright, balikan na lang po natin. I guess they'll tell me when they're ready. Narinig nyo naman yun, di ba?
Ang tanong doon na may pruweba ba?
Yun nga.
Wala kang pruweba eh. Pangalawa, alam mo, I remember the president was asking her and Ombudsman Morales to resign simultaneously, ba sabay-sabay? Walang din nila kinagat eh. Di ba sabi siya, mag-resign tayong tatlo sabay-sabay. Pangalawa, bakit naman paparesign niya? Anong reason? Wala.
No, the
Apart
reason
from sinasabi niya na is the president behind. Alam po ninyo, out of character sa presidente. Wala talaga siyang kinalaman. Hindi nga siya nakikialam sa mga heads of department, yung pang ibang sangay.
But when he made that statement, Attorney Sal Congre, na sinabi niya that I now declare you as my enemy, I'm going to ask Congress to impeach you, pati kay Soljan. When the president made that statement,
he was reacting to
the challenge.
The challenge. So, siyempre, gano'n naman. Ako, kahit gano'n, pag china-challenge mo ako, di magsasalita ako. But that was after the fact.
So, does that make him quite guilty that he had a hand in her ouster because of the statement made by the president?
Not at all. That was just a statement.
Reaction lang yun kasi nangungulit siya na ikaw ang nasa likod nito. Gano'n. Sige na nga, ako nakalaban mo.
Parang gano'n.
Ka lang. Para tumigil ka lang ba?
But was it necessary, I guess, was it necessary for the president to have said that? Ngayon sinasabi, ngayon, to some people, they put two and two together. You
cannot deprive the president of expressing his sentiment. Tao din yun eh. Pareho din ni Chief Justice. You can stop her from expressing her sentiment now.
Okay,
and the difference is Chief Justice is an appointee. The President was elected by a great majority of the Filipino people. These are two different things when you talk of resignation, because you owe it to the people, not to your appointing authority.
Attorney Sal, when were you last with the president, and does he even plan to answer the former Chief Justice call for him to resign?
Wala, kasi alam mo, pag nakikita-kita kami ng presidente sa cabinet, hindi namin pinag-uusapan ninyo sa outside kung ano lang yung agenda sa cabinet. Hindi niya.
Kailan niyo siya huling nakausap?
The night before yesterday.
Okay.
We were in Cebu.
Was it even brought up?
Wala.
Even in passing?
Iba ang kwentuhan namin na puro pampamilya, yung mga nakaraang kampanya.
Okay. You didn't even talk about the Chief Justice? The former Chief Justice?
We did.
Not even yung call for
Saka I'd like to
resign?
kasi sinasabi nga pala ni Chief Justice Sereno na kaya behind si Presidente because of Calida. They keep on forgetting that under the law, he is required to file co-warranto pag mayroong reasonable basis na may probable cause na somebody is occupying illegally an office or somebody complains. Otherwise, di siya ang dinimanda, dereliction of duty.
Paano yun? There is now an administrative, there are cases against the Soljan, not cases, may reklamo po filed before the Office of the Ombudsman against Soljan Galida. Even challenging him, gentlemen, to release his SAL-Ns because of possible conflict of interest daw, and meron pang isa extramarital affair, I believe.
May probable cause, ganyan talaga eh. Sabi nga, dura lex sed lex, that's the law. Whether it's harsh.
He has to be answerable for it.
So kailangan din niyang, he needs to reveal his SAL-N as well. Yun po yung sinasabi?
You know, the president.
In the proper forum.
Okay.
The president keeps on saying, from the very beginning pala ng kampanya, isa lang ang programa di gobyerno ko. Kung ano yung batas, sundin natin. Yun lang yun eh.
Alright. Quickly lang, Congre, yung 8 justices, there are some members at the House, a minority, who want to file an impeachment case against the 8 justices for possible culpable violation of the Constitution. Uusad ho kaya to?
Well, I guess they can always file. I don't know. Anyway, if it is filed by a congressman, then that will definitely be filed in or referred to the Committee on Justice. But whether it will take off is another matter, given the situation in Congress that we have a supermajority.
And personally, did they commit culpable violation of the Constitution?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo. Sir, maraming salamat. And the House Justice Committee Chairman Ray Umali. Gentlemen, thank you. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.